Okay, friends, so today I want to answer the question, what is a database and why should you care? And the why is because databases matter. They run everything at very high level. But let's start with the what. So I'm going to start by talking about spreadsheets. Most people know a spreadsheet. So if I were to keep track of people that I wanted to send a birthday card to, I might use a spreadsheet. And so I'd come in here and I would change the name here. And then I would put columns. So I would say first name, last name, street, city, zip, state, birthday. And I would come through and I'd start filling things out. And just for sake of argument here, so I might just fill out a handful of people. I'd put their addresses, their birth dates in, etc. Right? You might put their birthdays in this way, and then you would go through and have the addresses and everything, right? And so in doing this, you would then say, well, next thing is, have I sent them a card? And so now what you're going to do, okay, so this, I guess we'll talk definitions real quick. This is now a record in a database, right? So mom is a record, and mom gets sent a birthday card. Dad is a record. Dad gets sent a birthday card, right? So now in a sheet, you're going to say, okay, I want to keep track. Did I send them a birthday card yet this year? And I might create a field or a column here that is sent 2026. And then I would check them off after I've sent them. That is one way to handle it. Works great if you've only got a few people that you're sending birthday cards to. Now, my wife has a friend of the family who sends birthday cards, hundreds of birthday cards every year, probably 1,000. And a little checklist like this isn't going to work for her, right? And so databases allow you to scale out of a spreadsheet into a checklist. And so what you would end up doing is you would create a new table. And in Google Sheets, we'll create that table as a separate worksheet because we can sort of mimic some of the basic functionalities of a database using a spreadsheet. And we might say sent and just put the date that it was sent. So, but I need to know who it was sent to. So I'm actually going to call it an ID. And so we're going to create an ID. And so over here, we would add a new field on this record that is ID. And we've got 1, and we've got 2, and we've got 3. And so now when I send my mother a birthday card, I would come in and say, person 1 was sent a birthday card. But I wouldn't just do the X, I would do a date. And so today's August 13th, I would say 13, 2026. And that would allow me to keep track of every year all in one column. So then person 2, all right, so we would use this ID to then say, oh, sent my dad a card, October 1st, 2026. And now we can keep track. And so now, let's say I didn't send my grandma one, but the next year I send my mom one again. I can just keep track by putting the new date in here. Now, a database would allow you to interact with this not just in a spreadsheet, but to be able to record it using a website. Thus, why does it matter? It also allows you to ask questions where you could then say, who are the next people that I need to send a birthday card to? And that's not so bad when you only have 3 or 5, but if you have 100 people on here, and maybe it's not birthday cards, maybe it's follow-up text messages, emails you need to reply to, whatever, you can't really manage it in a single spreadsheet. But a spreadsheet is a good model because we get the row becomes a record. So record for my mom, record for my dad. And then the columns are the fields that we care about. And then if we want to relate them, we can come back in here and build this here. So you could argue that I could build a formula field here of has it been sent this year and pull the data across from this one and this one. And that's totally possible. And that's true. But there's nothing in a spreadsheet that's going to stop me from adding my mom again. Maybe my parents move and I have 100 entries and I forget and I add my mom again. There's nothing to say, hey, this mom might already be in your system. A database allows for that. You can say first and last name have to be unique, right? And so, or maybe it's first name, last name, and birthday, because you would add her again and it would say, wait, this person with this birthday might already be there. Potential conflict, right? So those are some of the reasons that a database is better than just a spreadsheet, because now we can ask it questions. So basically you can see a photograph versus a living system, right? The spreadsheet is kind of a photograph. It's a snapshot of what's going on right now. Whereas the database allows you to have a living system, something that you're interacting with, you're asking questions and all of that. So, yeah, hopefully that's helpful to kind of help you see how a database works and what a database is.